A very good evening to all my lovely kids. It's time for children's bedtime treasury with Let Emotions Speak. Do you know a group of chickens is called a flock? What is a group of peacocks called then? You'll find the answer at the end of the story. Today's story is about the very big parcel. Once upon a time, there lived an old man and his wife. They dwelt in a small house with a small, neat garden, and they were very contented. What's more, they had very good friends and neighbors with whom they shared everything. One day, there was a knock at the door, and there stood the postman with a huge parcel in his arms. My, oh my! Exclaimed the old man to his wife as he staggered into the kitchen with the enormous load. Whatever can it be? Wondered the old woman as the two of them stared at the parcel. Perhaps it's a new set of china, said he. Or a new wheelbarrow, said she. And they began to think about all the fancy things there might be inside the parcel. Well, why don't we open it and see it? Said the old lady at last. So they did. They looked into the box at first. It seemed to be totally empty. Well, I never did, cried the old man, and then he spotted something right in the corner of the box. He lifted out into the light to examine it more carefully and discovered it was a single seed. Well, the old man and his wife were most upset. Whereas before they were quite content, now they had thought about all the things they might have been in the box. They were bitterly disappointed by the seed. Still, said the old man at last, we'd better plant it anyway. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a nice fresh lettuce from it. So he planted the seed in the garden. Every day he watered the ground and soon a shoot appeared. The shoot grew into a strong young plant, and then it grew taller and taller. Higher and higher it grew until it was a handsome tree. The man and his wife were excited to see fruits growing on the tree. I wonder if they're apples, the old man said. Each day he watered the tree and examined the fruits. One day he said to his wife, the first fruit is ready to pick. He carefully reached up into the tree and picked the large red fruit. He carried it into the kitchen and put it on the table. Then he took a knife and cut the fruit in half. To his astonishment, out poured a pile of gold coins. Come quickly, he called to his wife. Well, the pair of them danced round the kitchen for joy. The old couple decided to spend just one gold coin and keep the rest. After all, said the woman wisely, we don't know what's in the other fruits. They may be full of worms. So they spent one gold penny in the town and put the rest aside. The next day, the old man picked another big red fruit, and this too was full of gold. After that, the old couples were less careful with their money, thinking all the fruits must be full of gold. They had a wonderful time buying fine clothes and things for the house and garden. Each day, the man picked another fruit. Each day it was full of gold, and each day they went into town and had a grand time spending the money. But all the while the man forgot entirely to water the tree. Meanwhile, the old couple's friends and neighbors started to gossip among themselves. They wondered where all the money was coming from, and they began to resent the old couple. They noticed that the old couple didn't buy anything for their friends or even throw a party. Gradually, their friends ignored them until the old couple were left with no friends at all. But they didn't even notice because they were so busy spending the gold coins. Then, one day, the old man looked out in the garden and saw that the tree was all withered. He rushed outside and threw bucket after bucket of water over the tree, but all to no avail. He and his wife frantically picked the fruits left on the tree, but when they looked them indoors, they found to their dismay that they were cracked and gnarled. When they broke open the fruits, they were full of dust. "If only I had not been so thoughtless and remembered to water the tree," cried the old man in anguish. The next day, the old couple looked out of the window to find that the tree had vanished. Now, what were they to do? They had completely neglected to care of their garden, and now they had nothing to eat. They realized that they would have to sell their riches to buy food. Then they also needed gardening tools, for theirs had grown rusty with neglect. As the weeks passed, the old man and his wife gradually sold all the fine things they had bought, just to keep body and soul together. They felt truly miserable and sorry for the way they had treated their neighbors, for now they realized just how lonely they were without their friends. "We have no money now," said the wife one day, "but let's have a party anyway, for friendship is more valuable than any amount of gold coins." So the old couple invited all their friends and neighbors round and they had a grand party. The friends wondered what had happened to all the old couple's riches and what had happened to make the old couple so friendly once more. But I don't think they ever found out. Do you? So kids, did you like the story? What is more important than all the wealth in the world? It is friendship. And when God gives you something in abundance, we must learn to protect it and preserve it. A group of chickens is called a flock. What is a group of peacocks called? It is called a muster. Don't forget to like the video, share the video and subscribe to my channel. See you tomorrow with another great story. Good night.